Hello everyone. Welcome back to Simple English Talks. I've got a question for you today. Do you think native English speakers always speak perfect English?
Hey there! Oh, that's such a good question. And you know what? The answer might surprise a lot of our listeners.
Haha, right? Because here's the thing. I'm a native speaker, and I make mistakes all the time, like every single day.
Haha, same here. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. We're going to show you why native speakers don't actually speak perfect English, and why that's totally okay.
This is going to be such a relief for so many of you who are learning English. You're probably sitting there thinking you need to be perfect, right? But guess what? We're not perfect either.
Absolutely. By the end of this episode, you're going to understand why making mistakes is completely normal, how native speakers actually talk in real life, and why you should stop worrying about being perfect.
So here's what I want you to do. Think about this question. Have you ever felt frustrated because you can't speak English perfectly? Drop a comment below and tell us about it. We read every single comment.
And if you're new to Simple English Talks, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. We make English learning real, practical, and honestly, way less stressful.
All right, let's dive into this. Because once you understand how native speakers really talk, you're going to feel so much more confident.
Let's start with the biggest secret about native English speakers. Ready for this? We break grammar rules constantly. 2. Main Teaching Section 1. Native speakers break grammar rules.
Okay, so here's the truth. Every English learner studies grammar rules really carefully, right? You learn that you should say, he doesn't, not he don't. You learn about subject-verb agreement and all that stuff.
Exactly! But then you watch a movie or listen to a conversation, and you hear native speakers saying things like, me and my friend went shopping, instead of, my friend and I went shopping.
Haha, oh my gosh, yes, I say me and my friend all the time. It's technically wrong, but literally everyone says it in casual conversation.
Here's another one. How many times have you heard someone say, who did you give it to? That ends with a preposition. Your grammar book probably told you that's wrong.
Right. The correct way is supposed to be, to whom did you give it? But honestly, if someone said that to me in normal conversation, I'd think they were being super formal, or maybe even a little weird.
Exactly. So let's look at some common grammar rules that native speakers break every single day. First, double negatives. We're taught not to use them, but people say things like, I don't know nothing about that, all the time.
Second, using good instead of well. We know we should say, I'm doing well, but most people just say, I'm doing good, in everyday conversation.
Third, starting sentences with and or but. Your teacher probably told you never to do this, but we do it constantly. See what I just did there?
Haha. And fourth, using like as a filler word. I was like so tired, and she was like, yeah, me too. It's not grammatically correct, but it's everywhere in real speech.
Here's what's really important for you to understand. There's a difference between written English and spoken English. Written English is more formal and follows stricter rules.
But spoken English? It's flexible, it's casual, and it changes based on who you're talking to and where you are. Native speakers adjust their English all the time without even thinking about it.
So when you're learning English, don't beat yourself up if you make grammar mistakes. Native speakers make them too. The question isn't, is this grammatically perfect? The question is, does the other person understand me?
Try this right now. Think of one grammar rule you always worry about when speaking English. Maybe it's using who versus whom, or remembering irregular past tenses. Write it in the comments.
Because I want you to know something. Communication is more important than perfection. If someone understands what you're saying, you're doing great. That's the real goal of language. 3. Main Teaching Section 2. Native speakers use slang and informal words.
All right, let's talk about another big reason why native speakers don't sound like textbooks. We use slang and informal expressions constantly.
Oh yeah. And here's the thing about slang. It changes all the time. Words that were popular 10 years ago might sound outdated now.
Exactly. Like, when I was younger, everyone said cool for everything. That's so cool. Now younger people might say, that's fire, or that's sick, to mean something is really good.
Right. And if you learned English from a textbook from 20 years ago, you might not know any of these expressions. But native speakers use them every single day.
Let me give you some examples of informal words we use instead of the proper ones. Instead of going to, we say gonna. Instead of want to, we say wanna.
Instead of got to, we say gotta. Like, I gotta go, instead of I have to go. These aren't mistakes. They're just informal, spoken versions.
And we shorten everything. I don't know becomes I don't know. Let me becomes lemme. Give me becomes gimme.
Here's another thing. We use filler words and expressions that don't really mean anything specific. Words like you know, like, I mean, and sort of.
I say you know, probably 50 times a day. It doesn't add meaning to my sentences, but it's just how I naturally speak. It gives me time to think about what I want to say next.
Exactly. And here's something interesting. Different English-speaking countries have totally different slang. In the US, we might say apartment. In the UK, they say flat.
In America, we say elevator. In the UK, it's lift. Same language, different words. So even native speakers from different countries sometimes have to learn each other's vocabulary.
Now, in formal situations like job interviews or business presentations, native speakers do switch to more formal English. We drop most of the slang and speak more carefully.
But in everyday conversation, at home, with friends, at the coffee shop, we're using informal language constantly, and that's completely normal and acceptable.
So here's my advice for you. Don't try to memorize every slang word you hear. Slang changes too fast. Instead, focus on understanding common informal expressions.
And pay attention to context. When you hear slang, notice where it's being used. Is it in a casual conversation? Is it among friends? Is it in a specific age group?
Here's a fun exercise. Watch a TV show or movie in English. Count how many times you hear informal words like gonna, wanna, or gotta. I bet you'll be surprised how often they appear.
And write down one slang word or informal expression you've heard recently. Put it in the comments and tell us what you think it means. We'll let you know if you're right.
Remember, using some informal language makes you sound more natural and fluent. You don't always have to speak like a textbook. In fact, if you do, you might sound a bit robotic. 4. Main Teaching Section 3. Native speakers mumble, cut words, and speak unclear.
Okay, here's something that probably frustrates English learners so much. Native speakers don't pronounce every word clearly.
Oh man, this is so true. We mumble, we cut off endings, we blend words together. It's like everything you learned about pronunciation goes out the window.
Right? So you learn that want to is pronounced want to, but then you hear native speakers say wanna, and it sounds like one word, not two.
Or you learn going to, but everyone says gonna, or got to, but you hear gotta. We smash words together all the time.
This is called connected speech, and it's one of the hardest things for English learners to understand. Because in textbooks, every word is separate and clear. But in real life, not so much.
Let me give you some examples. Did you eat? Often sounds like didja eat, or even jeet. Yes, really. Some people say it so fast it becomes one syllable.
What are you doing becomes what you doin'. We drop the G at the end of Taijing. Words all the time. I'm going sounds more like I'm goin'.
I don't know becomes I don't know. Let me see becomes let me see. Give me that becomes gimme that. We're constantly shortening and blending.
And here's another thing. We drop sounds at the end of words. Just becomes jus. And becomes an or n. Listen. I went to the store and bought some bread.
We also drop the H sound at the beginning of words sometimes. Did he go? Might sound like did he go, especially in fast speech.
Now, does this mean your pronunciation is bad if you say words clearly? No. Actually, clear pronunciation is great, especially when you're learning.
But it does mean you shouldn't feel bad if you can't understand native speakers sometimes. We're not speaking as clearly as your textbook suggested we would.
Here's the thing. Native speakers adjust their clarity based on the situation. In a business presentation, I'll speak more slowly and clearly, but talking to my friend at a noisy cafe, I'm mumbling and blending words like crazy.
And regional accents make this even more complicated. Someone from Texas sounds different from someone from New York, who sounds different from someone from London or Australia.
So what should you do? First, don't worry if you don't understand everything. Even native speakers sometimes have to say, "What?" or "Can you repeat that?"
Second, practice listening to different accents and speaking speeds. Watch movies, TV shows, podcasts, YouTube videos. Expose yourself to real English, not just textbook English.
Third, it's totally okay to ask someone to repeat themselves or speak more slowly. We do that too. There's no shame in it.
And here's a question for you. Have you ever listened to native speakers and thought, wait, that doesn't sound like what I learned? Tell us in the comments what confused you. Cham 5, Common Mistakes section.
All right, now let's talk about mistakes. And I want to be really honest with you here. Native speakers make mistakes, like actual grammar and vocabulary mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not just talking about slang or informal speech. I mean real mistakes that we don't even notice we're making.
Here's mistake number 1, that native speakers make all the time, mixing up your and your. I see this constantly, even in texts from educated people.
Right. Your means belonging to you. Your means you are. But people write things like you're welcome instead of you're welcome all the time.
Haha. Mistake number 2, using literally when we mean figuratively. People say things like, I literally died laughing. No, you didn't literally die, you're still here.
This one drives grammar experts crazy, but so many native speakers use literally just for emphasis now, even when something isn't literal at all.
Mistake number 3, saying I could care less when we actually mean I couldn't care less. If you could care less, that means you do care at least a little bit.
But you hear, I could care less everywhere in American English. It's technically wrong, but it's so common that people understand what you mean anyway.
Mistake number 4, confusing affect and effect. Even native speakers get these mixed up. Affect is usually a verb, and effect is usually a noun.
So you might say, the weather affects my mood. But the weather has an effect on my mood. But honestly, I have to think about this one every time I use it.
Here's another one, using less when we should use fewer. We say less people, but it should be fewer people. You use fewer for things you can count.
So it's fewer cookies, but less sugar. But at the grocery store, you'll see signs that say 10 items or less, when it should be 10 items or fewer.
And you know what? Here's the most important thing I want you to understand. If native speakers make these mistakes and people still understand them, you don't need to be perfect either.
Exactly. Making mistakes doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means you're human. The goal is communication, not perfection.
So stop being so hard on yourself. If you make a grammar mistake, it's okay. Native speakers do it too. What matters is, did the other person understand you?
Now here's what I want you to do. Think about a mistake you make often in English. Maybe you confuse two words, or you forget the past tense of a verb. Write it in the comments. Let's normalize making mistakes together.
All right, let's do some practice. I'm going to give you some sentences, and I want you to decide, does this sound like real natural English that a native speaker would say?
Remember, we're not looking for textbook perfect English. We're looking for realistic, everyday English. Ready?
Sentence 1. My friend and I are going to the movies tonight. Does this sound natural?
Yes, it does. This is grammatically correct and natural. You might also hear, me and my friend are going to the movies, which is less formal but very common.
Sentence 2. I am going to go to the store. Natural or not?
It's grammatically correct, but a native speaker would probably say, I'm gonna go to the store, in casual conversation. The full version sounds a bit formal for everyday speech.
Good point. Sentence 3. I do not know what you are talking about. How does this sound?
Again, it's correct, but it sounds very formal. Most native speakers would say, I don't know what you're talking about. Or even, I don't know what you're talking about, in casual speech.
Exactly. Sentence 4. Did you eat yet? Natural.
Absolutely. This is supernatural. You might also hear, did ya eat yet? Or even, jeet yet, in very casual, fast speech.
Love it. Sentence 5. To whom did you give the book?
Haha. Okay, this is grammatically perfect, but honestly, almost nobody talks like this in everyday conversation. You'd probably hear, who did you give the book to?
Yes. Even though ending with a preposition is technically wrong, it sounds way more natural. Last one. I'm doing good, thanks.
This is super common. Grammatically, it should be, I'm doing well, but I'm doing good is what most people actually say in real life.
See how different real English is from textbook English? This is exactly why you shouldn't stress about being perfect.
Now here's your challenge. Try to speak English today without worrying about being perfect. Focus on communicating your idea, not on getting every grammar rule exactly right. 7. Conclusion and wrap-up.
Wow, we covered so much today. Let's recap what we learned about why native speakers don't speak perfect English.
First, we learned that native speakers break grammar rules all the time in casual conversation. We use me and my friend, we end sentences with prepositions, and we make lots of mistakes that are actually totally normal in spoken English.
Second, we talked about how native speakers use tons of slang and informal language. We say gonna, wanna, and gotta. We use filler words like and you know, and we speak very differently in casual situations versus formal ones.
Third, we discussed how native speakers mumble, blend words together, and don't pronounce everything clearly. We use connected speech, drop sounds, and speak in ways that might be really different from what you learned in textbooks.
And finally, we looked at actual mistakes that native speakers make, like confusing your and your, or using literally incorrectly. Even native speakers aren't perfect.
So here's what I want you to take away from this episode. Stop trying to be perfect. Perfect English doesn't really exist, even for native speakers.
Instead, focus on being understood. Focus on communicating your ideas clearly. Focus on connecting with people. That's what language is really about.
Think about this. What's one thing you learned today that makes you feel less stressed about speaking English? Really think about it.
And here's what I want you to do right now. First, give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. It really helps us at Simple English Talks reach more learners like you.
Second, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We make English learning real, practical, and way less stressful. We post new episodes every week.
Third, leave a comment below. Tell us, what grammar rule do you always worry about? Or what's the hardest part about understanding native speakers for you? We read every comment and we love hearing from you.
And finally, share this episode with a friend who's learning English. Because everyone needs to hear this message. You don't need to be perfect to speak English well.
Remember, language is about connection, not perfection. Making mistakes is part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes every single day.
So be kind to yourself. Keep practicing, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you get better. Thanks so much for learning with us today at Simple English Talks. We'll see you next time.